Hello. On today's episode of the Comics Panel, we're going to be talking about can comic books beat the S&P 500? Okay, we're going to talk a little bit.
Who would have thought you were going to talk about the stock market on a comic book show?
Stock market or stocks?
My
and
head's
stuff?
hurting already just thinking of that.
Do you want to lead off on this? Because I've got things to say.
Right. Well, Grogan here found this interesting article online and was talking about certain comic books, value of comic books outperforming the value of some stocks on the S&P 500. So we thought it'd be kind of interesting to talk about some of the values of comic books in today's world.
Well, the issue talks about you buy the issue for, say, $1.25, the first appearance of Deadpool, and currently roughly $900 on eBay we're seeing. So that's an equivalent of what? What's the difference, does it say? What's the percentage goes
They
up?
said it appreciated the
a-
price to $800, making it a 26,507% return.
Huge. Anybody would love to buy a stock, get the penny stocks.
Get anything
Yeah.
and get that kind of return on it.
Now, again, this is not about investments. We
No,
do not
no.
tell you what to invest because, as we talked about before, every issue is a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
This
it's
is-
a crapshoot. If you're going to read comic books, then read them for the fun of it and for the love of it. Any value, extra value that you get out of that monetarily
It's icing on
is
the cake.
icing on the cake, and that's great if
Exactly.
you want to sell it or if you have to sell it. And if you can make a return on it, that's great. And
And one thing they say about stocks, when you own a stock and it's like you're about to sell it, once you sell it, they say never look back because you'll kick yourself because you'll sell it and it'll go up and you'll be so angry. So if you go down that road and you buy a book and it goes up and you say, oh, okay, I'll get rid of it, make some money. Let it go. Don't ever look back again. But that's the thing is, do you love that book? Is that a book that you need as a keystone to your issue, to your collection? Or is it one that you bought and now it's gone up and like you said, icing on the cake? Just get rid of it because for me, I had a baseball card that was over $100 and it was a team I didn't like, but it was it was a cornerstone of my collection because it was the best one. I used to show it off. The guy's name was Dwight Gooden. If you bought his traded card series that he was in, that was the hardest card to get because they made a limited run on them, and I was so happy. And now I should just put it in my bike spokes to make that neat sound because it's worthless. So you take it for the love, you keep it for the love. If you want to get rid of it, you get rid of it.
And the other book they mentioned in here was the first appearance of Harley Quinn.
Harley
Quinn.
Quinn, Batman Adventures.
And and these two issues that they're referencing, these are not the norm.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all.
Well, look at Deadpool.
Well, we're talking about speculation.
And a lot of these prices are driven
you
by
really
the people. 'Cause
can't-
I have to have that.
Right.
Yeah, you
right.
really can't when you practically every time I talk about comic books to someone who is definitely not really into comic books too much, it's always talk about speculation and money investment and things like that. Can you do that? And there are a lot of people that speculate it, and there are a lot of people that buy books and turn around and resell them and make profit. That's great. If that's what you want to do and that's what you're into, that's great. But like I said, it's always a crapshoot and stuff like that. And these are the exceptions to the rule. There are other books that have done things like this. Hulk 181, first appearance of Wolverine. Obviously, the really early books that are valuable because of what they are and because of their age, and there's so few of them around. Things like that. Those things are always going to be worth money.
And the historical value of the book too.
But everything,
Scarcity is big.
that kind of thing. But everything really fluctuates, and a lot of it has to do with how the media and how companies push certain characters or certain things like that. And what is hot today may not be hot
And-
tomorrow, or the other way around.
And even the news events. I remember when, the morning shows, you're going into work and they're getting dressed in the morning and you look at the morning news. And I remember, I think it was the Spider-Man cover when President Obama got elected. They put him on the cover. They were talking about that
Yeah.
and the death of Captain America. Those issues were going for sale people were buying them up
People
out
that
of the shelf
didn't even care
and putting
about
them on
comic
eBay
books
for
would never walk
50
into a comic book store were coming
Yeah.
in to get it.
for $50 or more,
Death of
sell them on
Superman.
eBay, and then a month or two later, they went down to normal pricing because it was a large print run. They didn't make it a small
Yeah,
print
and-
run.
Plus the Obama one, they made up like 4 or 5 printings.
Yeah.
So if you were just not a lover, but just wanted to get the President Obama cover, I can get the third printing for $5, fourth
Yeah.
printing for $2,
Yeah.
or I'll get a whole set of them and they'll give you a break buying them a whole set.
And
But-
another example too would be the Rebirth issues. Everyone wants the original
Yeah.
ones, and there was a store I walked into. A guy had a whole bunch. He was selling them for $10 a piece.
And yeah,
Now,
this is recent.
the
This
th-
is
yeah.
Just
rebirth
came
stuff.
out.
Yeah.
And because I guess people didn't
Well,
order enough, or they went
yeah.
bigger than what they thought. But now the reprints are coming out for $6. So are you going to spend
with
$10
a cover
for
price
that?
of $5.99.
Yeah, for $5.99, or so I heard some stores are now dropping their prices down to match the reprint issue
Yeah.
size. So I mean, it is it's like sometimes you don't. If you're just patient, you can get the deal
right,
on
you
your
can only
book.
charge what the market will bear. That's the
Yeah,
bottom
yeah.
line.
It's only worth what you can get for it. Yeah,
Right.
Exactly.
You can't take any of these books and go to the bank and say, "I have $20,000 worth of comic books here. Give me $20,000."
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
Just like you can't take a stock and go to the gas station. This
Say,
is
yeah, this is worth
X
X.
Xerox
Give
and
me,
give me-
some
fill up the
amount of
tank.
gas.
Right.
Yeah, doesn't. Yeah,
But let's just talk about Harley Quinn, because her issue will always have a scarcity thing, because at the time she appeared, it
Yes.
wasn't a popular comic, number one. Adults really didn't read it. It was more for a kid comic.
Yeah, Walking
Batman
Dead was the same
Adventures,
way,
yeah.
not a big print run.
Right, not a big print one. But this one especially, it was more for kids.
Mm-hmm.
So if you bought that issue, to specifically give it to your child, they're going to tear it up. So to find
Yeah.
it mint and its scarcity, that's why it's a hotter issue. And I think even if Harley Quinn doesn't get the push from DC Comics in time, it'll go down. But that scarcity value, it's going to hit a baseline. And it won't, in my stupid opinion, it's not going to go down too far. I mean,
No,
will
it
go,
won't.
Will it go
Yeah.
down under
It won't,
$100?
because-
I doubt that.
because that character will probably always be around.
Yep.
There's
the
as
girls,
long as
too.
that character is around, it's always going to be worth something more than what it was originally sold for.
Right.
Once the print run is done, it's once that character disappears, it's going to lose value.
Right.
Walking Dead is a very good example of this. What I think
That's
it
gonna
will
happen.
be.
Yeah. I see where you're going.
A few years from now, when Walking Dead is off the air and not as many people are going to be into it, even though it's a great show, I'm not saying anything like
Awesome
that.
show.
You're
Don't
not
go
going to
too
see
high.
the kind of prices that people are getting for Walking Dead number ones and things like
Exactly.
that.
I
It's just
agree.
not going to happen.
But just you got a perfect point, because the market drives that book, because then people come into the store because I know 2 people personally that only buy that book,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
that's it. So when that show ends, that demand is going to dry up. So then the true fans of like us will be there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, just like the stock market, after Britain voted to get out of the European Union, stocks in 2 days went down over 700 points.
Yeah.
So just like comics are a volatile thing, so are stocks. So if you're buying already and you love it, what's the big deal? It's a
Yeah.
win-win.
Yeah.
And if it goes up and you sell it, fantastic. Take your money, don't look back again, and enjoy it on a pizza or something. Buy yourself something nice, because I kick myself to this day, and this is the reason, if I don't like something, I sell it quickly, because of Dwight Gooden. How I got burned on that card. I could have got over $100 for that card, and I wouldn't sell it because, I thought
You're
it was-
greedy.
Yeah, not greedy, because he was great. He was great at that time. And then cocaine and alcohol and all that other stuff did him in, and that card is worthless now. But it's proof that not only is it volatile, but if you really don't like it and it goes up in value, then get rid of it. If you don't love it, if you don't have a vested interest in it, like with me, if I got Hulk 181, I doubt I would ever sell it, because I love Wolverine. If I ever got Action number 1, I would sell it. I think we talked about that. So, but that's the thing. It's volatile. We'll never tell you how to invest your money. We'll talk about keystone issues, cornerstone issues.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But this article was interesting, that inspired us because of that. And when
Yeah,
we're
you
ta-
normally
And it's,
don't
and it's a
talk comics
question
and
that we come
stocks, yeah.
across quite a bit.
We get asked that a lot.
From all different people, even people that have been in the comics industry in a long time. but never, as a collector, but never really look to get rid of their books. And they just have this idea that all of their books, even though they've been collecting for a long time, are going to be worth a lot of money. And it's just not true.
Well, talking about the speculation, do you think any one of us, if we had that, we can speculate perfectly like those, stock investors do, like, I can't think of those investment managers. We wouldn't have, all of us, bought hundreds of Deadpool New Mutants 98.
Yeah.
We would have bought a ton of them. Harlequins and the Batman Adventures, or the Alex Ross cover one, because that's the first appearance of her in the DC continuity. That has a $250 to $300 value. We would have bought a ton of them. But we bought the issues. I have one of each, and that's it. And if it goes up, that's fantastic.
Hey, if you get lucky, that's great.
And exactly,
as far as that
luck.
goes.
It's luck.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. We don't work for Marvel or DC, so we don't know what's coming down the road until it comes out on the net.
And we don't know what they're going to really push and
Just look
stuff
at-
like that, or what's going to be a hit.
And the other episode, we were talking about Steppenwolf. Once that news came out, I looked online or on eBay. Everybody has their issues, and they're getting over $100 a piece for them.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
I knew who Steppenwolf was, but I didn't know exactly what the exact... how his first appearance was and stuff like that, and things. I didn't realize. I mean, I knew who he was, but
If the movie goes great, they'll go up in value. If the movie craps out,
Yes and no, because we were talking
could
about
maybe go
villains
down.
before.
Yeah.
Villains never maintain.
Yeah.
And that's why Deadpool, until they made him the anti-hero, think about it. Deadpool was always high, but Cable beat him.
Oh, yeah.
But when they made Deadpool an anti-hero, he just went up through the
and
stratosphere.
started pushing.
And-
Yeah.
and they forgot about Cable.
Yeah, Cable was
yeah,
nothing.
and
at
a lot of
point.
that too is also driven by the fans. I mean, remember
Yes.
how much when they came out with Cable in the beginning, how much they pushed Cable and everything?
Yes, Cable was everywhere.
Cable did do well there for a while, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden it just dropped out, and then Deadpool just started taking off.
And then Cable's
Like
twin brother,
Gangbusters,
DirecTV, was doing well too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You remember that episode? If you don't watch it, it's very funny.
Enough said.
Enough
Enough
said.
said.
Excelsior. Well, it was a good episode. I mean, I wish I was here that day when that happened. I missed him, but that happens.
So anyway, this was kind of just an
Chimichangas.
article that we seen that we felt we had to touch on this because
Our love of comics.
our love
here.
of comics is
Economics
spilling
and
over
comic
into
books. Like,
economics.
what's up with that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
So when they call you a fanboy, nerd, whatever, say, yeah, well, this issue beat the S&P. Boy.
boy,
So yeah, I think, did we nail this one,
I
Crush
think
It?
that's about it.
Okay,
Yeah,
well-
I'm sure we're going to come back to this at some point
We
in
should.
time.
Well, you know what? In fact, we should try to do this before Deadpool 2 comes out, just to see how much more it has increased. And
Or
not to say-
decreased.
Exactly, or decreased. See, you're looking at the
Now-
glass half full. Or
Now-
half empty. I'm half full, because I'm hoping it's going to go
I
up.
did talk to a couple dealers that you mentioned that real quick. Before the movie was coming out, it was going up, going up, going up, and then it seemed like that people were kind of. The last couple shows I've been to, I saw dealers selling them for about $500 to $700, and then I talked to after the movie came out, a couple dealers saying now instead of being $500 to $700, it's now closer to $400 to $600.
But what condition?
Well,
is
it reached
super
its
mint?
peak though.
Yeah,
Too. I
so
think that
it's
really
a,
did
it's a
reach its
market
peak.
getting saturated because people were selling them too. But it's interesting to see
Well,
what the next movie will
when
go
something
up
like
again.
that
Yeah.
happens, you never know how many are out there in circulation until that happens.
Exactly.
If there weren't a whole lot of New Mutants 98 out there, just in general,
Right.
it would have continued to. But once people knew it was worth something, hey, I'm going to sell it. All of a sudden, we realize there's actually a lot of these around.
Well, there's a lot, but here's the thing. It still wasn't a big print run, say, like X-Men #1.
Well,
with
no,
Jim
it
Lee.
wasn't as big,
Because it
but-
wasn't a popular title. So that helps, this. I don't want to say scarcity, but it helps the limited print runs. So they weren't making 600,000 of this issue. So it does help limit it. But again, too, were kids reading that, going through? Like, I'll give you an example. Somebody I know has the first appearance of Harley Quinn, but he said when he got it as a kid, all he did was just read it and then reread it and then threw it in
Yeah.
the corner. So there's a lot of those issues that are
Yeah,
taking the
that's-
hit.
yeah.
In fact, today, honest to gosh, I
and
went
these
on.
are the premium prices we're talking about. This
Right,
is
for
a
the
mint. This is a
premium
mint
books,
or
yeah.
near mint
Mint,
condition
yes.
book. If you have a book that is nowhere near mint condition, you're not going to get nowhere near the
Yeah, we
value
get that.
of this.
We
I
get a
looked-
lot of that.
I
and
looked
it
on-
has
Hey,
to
I
be
got this
graded,
issue. It's just
and
like-
everybody
Right,
grades
no, no, no.
differently,
Not that issue.
and all kinds of stuff like that.
Today on eBay, there's a guy, he has an issue, graded 4.0, and he wanted, and I want to dare say like 300. I'm like, oh my God, seriously, a 4.0 grade on a 90s book? Now, if
Yeah.
it was, Action #1, you got a 4.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
or
pretty
something
good.
from the 50s or 60s,
Right.
Silver
A
Age or Golden
4.0
Age, but
on that,
where
never.
everything's a 4.0.
Right, it starts at a 4.0, right. But oh my word.
If you want to grade your book, here's a little hint. You can go online, and Overstreet will give you a nice description of what all the
Yes.
conditions
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
Yeah,
and what is required to get that condition. So
exactly.
you can
And
adjust
everybody
your
grades
prices.
does grade a little bit different.
Sure. What's
Yeah,
important
you
to
know.
you is not important to me. I
But at
like
least
a
you got
tight
a
staple,
head
right?
start, you know, a
Right.
general knowledge base.
Well, this is good. I mean, it lets everybody who watches us know that hey, if you love it, it's the icing on the cake. If you don't like it, and it can make you money to buy other issues, then they should do it. I mean, if I could
Or
sell,
if it's just taking up space.
right, because
Exactly.
one comic, oh my god, takes up so much space.
Is that
You've
one
got
times
boxes
multiple?
of-
Yeah.
The boxes. We're talking about one issue. I mean, hey, gladly, I would give up a lot of my issues to get Hulk 181 mint condition and then put it away and never look at it again. Sure.
I remember somebody sold a collection to the one store I frequent, and I had to help carry those boxes in. And when someone, you know, after the fifth or sixth long box, it starts to get a little tiring. after a
Oh,
while.
Yeah.
there is no
Up
doubt.
and
Yeah.
down the stairs to,
Yeah.
you know,
I moved too many times with all my comics, and that was the biggest workout of. I'd rather lift furniture.
yeah, from the truck down to the store.
That's why
truck
I'm
to the
slowly
store.
getting rid of long boxes and breaking them up into small
That's what
boxes,
I've been
medium
doing.
size. Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
That's the way to go. I'm getting older.
maybe we
I can't
should
do that
Maybe
anymore.
we should save that for another episode. Get rid of the long box, go short. This is our advice to you on Comics Panel.
Hey,
Exactly.
we probably should talk about supplies.
We should.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do that. Future show, comic book
Excellent.
supplies.
Alrighty, I think
Well,
that's about
We
it.
crushed it again?
Yep.
Two
Yep.
times in one show. That's awesome. All right. If you get tired of the same old story, please turn some comic book pages. And if you have any comments, please leave them in the box below.
Subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook channel,
And our
Facebook.
YouTube channel, please.
Thank you.
Bye.